Good morning, everybody. It's your friendly, absent without leave, neighborhood old soldier. I haven't been making as many videos as I have in the past, just life. But mostly, still dealing with this Gulf War syndrome bullcrap. And it just keeps lingering on for some reason this go around. Today I finally felt halfway like my normal self, so I gotta take the old garbage off to the dump where me and the son are headed. But I want to get it on here and give my 2 cents worth about the so-called mass shooting in Sacramento, California. And it's always funny when it happens in one of these liberal states and cities that it's all of a sudden a mass shooting. I get it, 6 people died, 12 more sent to the hospital. And of course, the puppet master stuck his hand up the old president's rump and got him out there yappa, sign executive order to do bloody, cotty, potty, bloody bull crap. The reality of it is this, and I will speak in terms like this. My belief, my opinion, after watching several news articles on it and a few others, Legally Armed America kind of hit the nail on the head with it, that more than likely this was an instance of gang violence, not gun violence. The point I'm getting at is the liberal media will always take every opportunity to exploit situations like this to try and deprive law-abiding, free Americans of our right to bear arms to protect ourselves from not only threats, immediate, but from a tyrannical government. Make no shapes, bones, or about it. They want to take our guns, but they don't want to take them away from everybody. They want to take them away from those of us with conservative values and arm their liberal elite. What you think about that for a minute? You go back in time, kind of like what Hitler did in Germany. He wanted to make sure the people that he planned to eradicate didn't have guns, and anybody that was against it to not have guns. But he turned around and made sure his diehard followers had access in mass to firearms at some point in time during his tenure as the leader of the Third Reich. But anyway, I say that to say this, that they keep harping about these universal background checks. They harp about having to create a gun registry or a de facto license registry. I don't know if anybody here follows Cole Noir. I like the young man. Some of you may not, because he supports the NRA. That's the case, and you just have to deal with it however you deal with it. But he's a very educated and well-versed young man. And I was going through a few of his videos this weekend, and the one that really stuck out was when he was talking about some of these talking points about taking away our gun rights, the universal background checks, the false narrative that that's going to prevent bad people from getting guns, and creating a license system that we can track who gets guns to make sure those that can't have guns don't get guns. And one of the clips he put in there talked about the Air Force veteran that, he had a conviction record with the Air Force. The problem was the Air Force didn't report that information to the FBI so that the FBI could put it into their system for when a 4430 or 4473 is run, that it would have popped up. Made a very valid point. That's the Air Force's problem, not yours and mine, who abide by the law, who do everything we're supposed to do. We do it the way the law is spelled out. Why should we have to suffer from the inept and incompetent branch of government? One of many, to be, in fact. So that kind of debunks the whole universal system. If other government agencies aren't doing their job, why should we suffer for their incompetence? And I'm like, okay. I had to scratch my head there for a minute, but then it all clicked. Because I was under the impression, when a member of the armed service gets court-martialed and convicted, it automatically went into the FBI's database. But that was when I found out somebody's got to put it in there. And obviously, in this case, that guy didn't. But it also goes back to state and local agencies not reporting up. There's some that still don't always submit things the way they're supposed to. Just like juvenile records, a lot of times juvenile records get sealed. Because why? When we're teenagers, we all have a tendency to do some dumb stuff. And in the course of that, we have a tendency to get caught. Now, as a teenager, should you suffer from your mistakes as an adult? Outside of, I'd say, murder, I'd say no, shouldn't, but it happens. Let me pause this so I can get rid of this trash, and we'll get back on track in just a second. All right, folks, we're back. Yeah, a fair amount of stuff I had to dump. That's why I'm a little winded. But anyways, for you, Brother Kyle. Where were we? Talking about the so-called mass shootings narratives, telling about Colin Noir. His video talking about that. Like I said, why should we suffer for the ineptitude, the incompetence of other government agencies? We shouldn't. Now, all this money that the Puppet Master's instrument is about to expend on his executive bullcrap order, imagine if we put that into the mental health system. Maybe we might be able to identify earlier people with these mental health issues that maybe they ought not, be slipping through the system, if you will. I don't have all the answers, folks. I don't know if I got any of the answers. But I can tell you that depriving law-abiding citizens of our God-given right to defend ourselves. That's something that senator from, can't remember where she's from. Nobody has a God-given right to own a gun. No, but I've got a God-given right to defend myself. And by whatever means necessary. In this modern day and age, a firearm. Now, 100 years from now, we might be in the Buck Rogers time and we all have laser guns. I don't know. I don't plan to live that long, but my point being is, and as Mr. Noir made a point in one of his videos, since the inception of man, whether you believe in evolution or creation, I believe in creation. So when God made Adam and Eve and populated the whole earth, and once we realized that we had free will, and I had the will not to like somebody, and we get into arguments, and we get to fight, we started developing weapons ourselves. Okay? The earliest weapons were, basically stones and clubs and rocks and sticks and animal bone. Eventually, man learned how to make metal-edged instruments out of bronze and tin and iron. Then the invention of gunpowder, yada, yada, yada. Man is always going to contrive a way to defend him or herself. I also say that to say this. Watch traffic. I also say that to say this. That when you take away a certain weapon from people to defend themselves, inherently certain ingenuitive people will come up with other means to defend themselves with, right? And that's where my heart does go out to the people of the United Kingdom, you know, because in their mass hysteria of liberalism, okay, I said it, you know, not only cannot have handguns, next to impossible to own firearms outside of, I think, hunting shotguns they're allowed to have. And even then, I don't think they can keep them in the house, or if they do, they got to be separate from the ammunition. Australia's similar. My point being is that England, New Zealand, Australia, well, England and Australia, I don't know if New Zealand's fully enacted theirs yet or not, but basically they just come in, we're taking your guns. And as long as Trudeau stays in Canada, that's eventually going to happen in Canada. But back to the point. So in England now, you know, they banned knives. Can't have a pocket knife, hunting knife, no kind of knife at all. So what do people resort to? Especially the criminals, when you take it away, they will come up with other means. Lead pipes, hockey sticks, cricket bats. If y'all don't know what that is, go look it up. I'm not going to explain the game other than we derive baseball from it. Bricks, rocks, stones, slingshots. What they found out in the UK that the mainstream media won't report is that when the people had their rights to bear arms taken away, crime rate went up. The crime rate went up. What y'all think about that for a minute? Which I know I'm preaching to the choir on this channel, but back to the whole thing that started it, the shooting in Sacramento, California. Again, folks, that whole thing with what's going on there is being mislabeled left and right as gun violence, when in all probabilities it's gang violence. The one person that they do have in custody, from what I understand, you know, they found the firearm where he was at. Found out he was not even, he was a person in possession of, how'd they label it? A person in possession of a firearm that cannot lawfully possess one, aka a convicted felon, more than likely. I got to, you know, do some more studying on it, but basically, this person had a firearm that he wasn't supposed to have, for whatever reason. Usually it's because you've already got a prior conviction felony and you can no longer own firearms. And we're back at the hacienda. Gonna go inside and make sure the dogs haven't made a mess. Want to get this one done for you today, folks. Gonna try and get some new t-shirts out. I'm gonna put a link down below, or a link out once I do. I'll put it on my Instagram and then on future videos. So if I do come up with some t-shirts, tell me down in the description below if you'd be interested in getting one. And if you are, if I get enough people to say they are, I'll go through with it. And if not, you know, we'll just drive on. But until then, back at you, Brother Kyle, one more time. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, brother. Y'all stay safe, stay vigilant, stay armed, keep your eyes open, ear to the ground, stay strapped, or get clapped. Soul Soldier out.